All right. So this is just a quick impromptu stream. By the way, for people who didn't catch him on season 3, episode 1, this is our new producer, Jake.
Hey.
So the reason that we are doing this right now, gonna try to do this pretty quickly in and out, but we'll take a few questions at the end from the chat, but is just to kind of fill everybody in on what's going on. This afternoon did a stream with this German show, 99 zu 1. I don't know how my German accent is, but I think that's how you say that. And after that, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. I am 99% sure that it's nothing we did. And I'm also 99% sure it's nothing that YouTube did on purpose. So I think this is something that YouTube did like because of some bizarre glitch. That's our best guess right now. It's possible they did it on purpose, but I don't think so because they always send an email. It's like as soon as they take any kind of punitive action that, we play 5 seconds of something that violates copyright or whatever, there's always an email right away.
I mean, of course, I had the thought that maybe they were finally censoring this hot left-wing content, in favor of the right-wing algorithm that it normally favors. But it seems like that probably wasn't the case.
Yeah, it seems like it's probably not the case. But yeah, like a lot of people, since this happened very shortly after the stream with 99 zu 1 ended, like there were a bunch of people who said that they were like they'd started late, so they were in the middle of watching the stream and then it just cut out. I actually just counted it up because I was sending all the links to the deleted videos to our YouTube and Twitter manager Kelly, and so there were 28 videos that were deleted all at once. That's not all like substantive stuff. Like that includes like some pre-recorded, that includes like the pre-recorded interview with Lillian Chichera, who's in Germany, so the time zones didn't work out, so we pre-recorded it. So that doesn't really matter if we get it back. And there are a few things like that it includes, and some unlisted but important things, and then a whole bunch of public videos. So we are hoping that YouTube will be able and be willing to restore everything. If either A or B turn out not to be the case, then we will try to figure out what our options are. I think we do have backup files for just about everything. Also, I think that probably not all of it, but probably most of this stuff comes from the era when we'd started to, maybe all of it comes from the era when we were simultaneously broadcasting to the Give Them an Argument Facebook page. So the Facebook video should still all be up, for those, the 5% of the audience who are old enough to have Facebook pages. That's they can go check out all the videos there, and the 99 zu 1 one you can see on their YouTube channel, and of course everything that exists in podcast form, you can still access in podcast form on the podcast feed. We actually had not put the most recent debate breakdown up because it ended up being 5 hours, and so I was actually planning to message Jake to be like, hey, could you break this up? Would you mind like exporting this as audio and breaking it up into a couple of videos so we can release it on different days to the
right, and then this threw a wrench in our normal operation, right?
yeah, exactly.
But No, so I think the good news for the fans is that most if not all the content is backed up, right? So we'll be able to get it out there in some form. But for the channel, it's still very, very stressful to have this happen. And we don't know how the algorithm works exactly, but it's not the best thing that could happen, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not, and it's frustrating timing because the channel has actually been doing really well lately. Got like 700 new subscribers in the last month, and the clip, the views have been really good for the clips. But it's it's annoying. We'll get through it. I think the most important thing to emphasize right now is, should anybody see those 28 deleted videos and be like, oh, does this channel not exist anymore? It's whatever weird thing happened here affected those 28 videos and nothing else. So obviously here we are live streaming at the moment. That is how you're watching us. So clearly we still have the ability to live stream on YouTube. And we are going to, we're going to have the episode exactly like normal on Monday, tomorrow night. So that's going to be with Vivek Chibber. Should be a really good episode. Going to watch probably a bunch of Charlie Kirk clips in the post game since my debate with Kirk is on Friday. I'm deep into Eye of the Tiger 80s training movie montage.
Yeah, you can't let this take your eyes off the prize, not, and we can't get conspiratorial either about the timing.
Yeah, it was Turning Points USA that hacked into the channel.
They're the best hackers in the business, I'm sure, the best team. But yeah, you'll be good by then.
Yeah. So we should be, we should be good by then. So again, big bullet points. As LaRose says, 99 Suant still has the live stream from this afternoon. So if you just search into YouTube 99 Suants, like it's spelled on the screen, you'll certainly find it there. Throw a few views to them while we were trying to figure this out. All of the give them an argument stuff, not all of it, sadly, because especially the unlisted videos for patron exclusive stuff, the post games and the patron only episodes, those are gone for now. Although, no, actually that's not true. You can go for those. Patrons can still access those because they can go to the Patreon, and all of those were posted there in podcast form as well as YouTube. So you can at least access the audio version of those for now. You can't see Jake's smiling face, from the season 3 episode 1 post game. But you can at least listen to them for now, and all of the public content that got deleted, you can find all of that on the Give Them an Argument Facebook page. So it's very not good, but it could be a lot worse. And we are cautiously optimistic that we will be able to get in touch with someone within the YouTube edifice and let them know, hey, I'm pretty sure you guys didn't mean to do this. Not sure what happened here, but I feel like there's probably a way for them to restore all of this, and I think that's the most likely outcome.
Yeah, that would be great. We're just gonna have to see what they say, because they have all the power in this situation. Until we have our own leftist streaming channel, as big as YouTube. It's kind of how the situation is going to be, I guess. And you've been talking about the auspicious starts that ends that all your producers have, right? So I promise I have nothing to do with this. It's just bad timing, but I'm going to help the channel get through it, God willing.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, this is always the frustrating thing because for the moment, as you say, unless there's some sort of alternative, video sharing site that gets to be big enough that it's a functional alternative, or whatever, YouTube is nationalized. Until one of those things happens, we're all just kind of tenant farmers, working our own little subplots within land owned by YouTube. And so when they do intentionally take things down, or sort of intentionally, I think a lot of this is just done by robots at this point. But when they do intentionally or semi-intentionally take things down, I mean, that can be incredibly frustrating too. It's like the stream that we did on January 6th, which was originally that day, we were going to do a movie stream about Martin Scorsese's film Mean Streets, which I'd actually rewatched that afternoon in preparation for doing the stream. And then people were texting me all the time I was watching the movie and be like, hey, are you watching the news right now? And then when I finished watching the movie and I saw all the texts, and I went online and saw, people storming the Capitol. It's like, okay, well, I guess we're not doing the Mean Street stream. So got like Varn and a few other people on, and we did one about the storming of the Capitol. And that one, that was taken down, on purpose. They sent us a notification through email that it was taken down. And the stated reason was totally nonsensical, which makes me think this must be automated. We just said some keywords, because the stated reason was like, oh, you violated our rule against spreading disinformation about the 2020 election. And it's like, okay, I'm a big free speech guy. I don't think Trump's conspiracy theories should be censored. I think they should just be mocked. But we clearly weren't doing that, right? Half of this stream was spent arguing about whether the people storming the Capitol, were technically, according to Hoyle, fascists or not, right? That's the level of sympathy, for them, that was expressed by anybody, ranging from no, they're just idiots to they're actually fascists. So that and that still hasn't been restored. That was never restored. And before that,
wow, yeah.
Before that, there was the one, the interview with ContraPoints, where they didn't take down the whole video, but there was the thumbnail. It was like the old, GTAA thumbnail frame, not the one we're using now, but it was it's like a frame around it, and then it was just the exact same picture she uses for her incredibly popular YouTube channel, where everything has millions of views. And they took it down. I swear to God, the email from them said that the thumbnail violated their sex and nudity policy.
That's just an aberrant robot for both of those, which is kind of creepier in a way, in terms of what slice of techno dystopia you want to live in, right? It's yeah. Because the first one, they probably, I didn't know about that, but I mean, you're right. It must have just been, they probably just, had so many videos going up, and they felt this duty to get rid of misinformation, but they had to use keywords, right? Because there's no way that they could have watched all the videos and, and in general. So it must have been just a robot.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Which is weird though, raises its own concerns.
Yeah, right. Because it's like, okay, do you want to live in the techno dystopia that's like a police state where political dissidents are being shot, or do you want to live in the techno dystopia where it's like a badly programmed robot who's shooting people for no reason?
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know which I pick between those two options. Maybe just a sign, well, I guess. But that yeah, not that we're on that level with
no, we're not.
Some live streams being deleted, but within the left.
This is this is much more minor, but just procedurally, yeah. So the sex and nudity one, and I mean, go check out her channel. That's that profile picture she uses there. That's the exact one. she's fully clothed as she remained, during the whole live stream. So, but it's also like a little harder to understand because, okay, the January 6th stream, it's dumb, but I get how that happened. Like, because it's like, okay, it's January 6th. Like the title has like MAGA in it, and it's like a lot of GTA live stream, MAGA storms Capitol. I'm sure we used like dozens of keywords, for because we were talking about it, right? I mean, this is always the problem with like, even non-automated censors, are always incredibly stupid about like telling the difference between advocating something and just talking about the thing.
Just a classic like use mention distinction going on, right?
Oh, nice. Nice.
We're reaching the limit of my philosophical bona fides. But yeah.
Well, it made me happy, but yes, that's that is classic use mention distinction. Hey, you're an asshole is use. Ben just called me an asshole is mention. That's the distinction for anybody who isn't up on their esoteric analytic philosophy of language. But yeah, so I understand how the January 6th one happened. I have no idea how the ContraPoints one happened, because if that's an algorithm, I'd just be fascinated to learn how that algorithm works.
Yeah, and I know that with the, I don't want to say controversy, but I mean, she's such a big channel in terms of people, I don't know, people report stuff, that can mess with the algorithm just to be a troll or stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something to do with it, but it's extremely ridiculous.
That's probably true. I mean, actually, before this channel even existed, I had a little brush with this. Because I was doing weekly videos for Zero Books, which I actually probably going to restart soon to promote the Hitchens book. But back then I was, since like 2019, I was doing weekly videos for Zero Books, and one of them, which was funny because it was actually a request that like a student from Rutgers had like said, hey, it would be cool if you ever wanted to do this. There's this Ben Shapiro video that he was wondering if I want to do a response to. And I mean, ironically, the guy who requested the video is like, not hyper religious, but like communally involved, synagogue attending, Jewish kid. And the Ben Shapiro video was like his theory of why American Jews mostly vote for Democrats. And, it was exactly as dumb as you'd think. It's Ben Shapiro. And so, he's like, oh, you should do a video. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And so because these were the subjects he talked about, I naively called the video, Ben Shapiro was wrong about Israel and American Jews. And it was taken down eventually. Like there were a bunch of other steps before that like first it was, you had to like click through this screen that said you understand that what you're about to view might be hate speech. And Doug, Lane from Zero Books actually like filed an appeal on my behalf. And the next day it said that it had been manually reviewed and they'd upheld it, the restriction. I was like, how is that possible that any human being could have seen this and upheld the restriction? It only occurred to me like months later. It's like, oh yeah, right. This is probably somebody like in Thailand who has to like, who has like 700 of these videos that they have to review over the course of an hour. And they probably like clicked on it for half a second, saw Jews. It was like, okay, this is probably anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Yeah. 99% of the time they're seeing Jews with hate speech in the same video. They're like, it's not the best. So. But that's a problem, though. That's really messed up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, like, eventually they deleted it entirely. And then, like, 6 months later, with no explanation, they restored it. So, no clue. But that one, I'm pretty sure, was not automated. I'm pretty sure that one was just, like, people who didn't like the content, being like just maliciously reporting it, which, as you say, certainly happens. Yeah, Jared says YouTube has made it clear they're a publisher, not a protected platform. The problem with this is, like, a lot of people who want to have sort of a centrist view on YouTube censorship or other social media censorship will say this, where, like, because on the one hand, you could take, like the line I'd take, which is that seems to be the solution to this is just to take it into public ownership, that the First Amendment would apply to it. And, you could still, doesn't mean you couldn't have any kind of content moderation. Like, it's not a violation of the First Amendment to say that, like, you're not allowed to, like, swear at people at, like, city council meeting, like open question time. But you couldn't, you certainly couldn't take things down just because of the political content. So that'd be my position. On the other end, there'd be like the libertarian position with that, like, well, whatever, it's a private company, it could do what it wants. That's not, that's not a free speech problem. And then people who try to, like, split the difference will often say, well, really what we should do is we should take away the part of the, I'm blanking on the name of the article, but it's like whatever provision it is of the Communications Decency Act that says that YouTube is a neutral platform rather than a publisher. So, like, the idea of the legal doctrine is, like, you can't sue them because they of the something that was said on YouTube, the same way you can't sue AT&T for something somebody says in a phone call. And so people who want to split the difference will often say, well, what we should do is take away or threaten to take away, that, because they say, well, if they're censoring things, that means they have an editorial lines. They're not a protected, neutral platform. So the problem with that is that if you took away that protection, the censorship would, like, skyrocket because they'd be terrified of being sued all the time. So anything that seemed like the least little bit like opening them up to litigation, they would just shut down instantly. Yeah, Section 230. That's the one. Yeah, Sean Moon says that Ben devoted his entire podcast to trashing Ayn Rand and never get tired of it. We did do. We've actually done a few things about that. There was obviously the thing from whenever that was, like week before last with Jen, the philosophy segment, but we also did. I know we did two other Ayn Rand things. Oh yeah, right. So there was with Griscom. Same episode with Griscom. We did the segment on the PragerU Ayn Rand video.
Right, the Prager, yeah, the Prager bit, yeah.
Yeah. And then like a long time ago, like season 1, we did an episode that was actually called Ayn Rand is Wrong About Everything, but
right.
It was a little bit misleading because the main guest was Yaron Brook for the Ayn Rand Institute who came on to debate me. But so like we did spend a certain amount of time talking about Ayn Rand being wrong about everything. But yeah, we'll do more Ayn Rand content in the future. I'm actually enjoying kind of like, I feel like season 3, we're sort of going back to like doing a lot more debunking kind of material, which is nice. Like that's the sort of going back to some of those zero books / TMBS roots.
Right.
So, want to do like we've obviously, seasons 1 and 2, we already did a lot of the highlights of that. We did the Sam Harris is always wrong episode, and Jordan Peterson wants you to clean 12 more rooms. I think that was the title of that one. And a Ben Shapiro episode. But like, there's a lot that's left on the table here. Like, I've we're going to do we're going to watch a Tucker Carlson video and in the episode tomorrow. And I've been thinking for a long time, actually, like an entire episode on Tucker would be good.
Ben is going to continue subjecting myself and all his guests to just the worst, the gutter of conservative media, right? It's your secretly enjoy it, I think, at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Joe says, if this happened to Dave Rubin, we'd never hear the end of it. Oh, yeah, no question. I actually, when I posted about this on Twitter, I said, like, to be clear, I don't think they did this on purpose. I think this was just a glitch. And somebody in the replies was like, "Oh man, that's not how you're supposed to play the game. Like, you should."
And you spoke out against cancel culture, and that means they're coming for you. The cancelers.
Yeah,
it's one to one, just like that, right?
Exactly. You should just pretend to be like the most persecuted person ever, and not just like, yeah, YouTube is incredibly stupid. Sometimes they mess things up. Which is what I honestly think the situation is here. But yes, I have no doubt whatsoever that if this happened to Dave Rubin, there would be like a month of content like just about this happening.
Yeah. Well, we could decide to milk it after this. We could have a team huddle and decide to go on a new, our public platform. So this was malicious, but for now we're not upholding that.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably also. It's it is worth it's worth like just making sure, as nice as it would be to grift about this a little, it's probably better to reassure everybody that everything's fine going forward. The content train will continue to roll. The tomorrow night's episode is going to happen just like it always does. I am cautiously optimistic that YouTube, once they're made aware of the problem, will restore everything, because that would really suck if we never got those 28 videos back. But meanwhile, we are good going forward. Everybody, Jake, the guests, and all of you will continue to be subjected to just the worst, cringiest right-wing content that's ever been made for debunking, purposes going forward. So everything is good. If there are no other questions, a lot of people have been saying this, that they were in the middle of one video or another, and it just cut out. So it really sucks, but inshallah, very soon, all of this will be restored to us. And meanwhile, there's new content, new episode coming up tomorrow night. So, stay strong. And we are probably going to leave it there for tonight. Left is best.